Today we're going to do some operations on polynomials. So the first thing we got going on here is 3x times 2x, and these brackets right here, they just mean we're going to multiply them. So the first step is we're just going to multiply 3 times 2, and we get 6. Now the second step is we're just going to multiply x by x, and we get x squared. So here's one thing that I need you to remember for the rest of your life. Every variable, like x for example, has an invisible 1 above it. And this is important because when we are multiplying two variables, basically what we're doing is we are going to add the exponents of those variables. So like for example, we did x times x equals x squared. We basically just did x to the power of a plus a. And in this case, both these variables have an invisible 1 in their exponent. So that's why x times x is x squared. So moving on, the second question says 2x squared y multiplied by 4xy cubed. So we're just going to use that same rule. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to multiply the coefficient. So 2 times 4, it's pretty easy, we get 8. Then the second thing we're going to do is we're going to do x squared times x. So remember there's an invisible 1 above the x right here. So x squared times x is just x cubed. And y multiplied by y cubed is equal to y to the power of 4. Alright, so now we got a little bit harder of a question. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to use the distributive property. I don't know if you've heard of that before. But basically what that means is, since we're multiplying the x by this entire term, as indicated in the brackets, we're just going to multiply the x by all of the terms inside of it. So we're going to do x multiplied by 2x, and then we're going to do x multiplied by 1. So the first step is going to be x times 2x. So x times 2x is just 2 times x squared. And x times 1 is equal to x. So this is our final answer. The distributive property is really easy, but it's just about understanding, you just gotta multiply everything in and then you're good. Okay, now that we're finished with the distributive property, which is pretty easy, we're gonna move on to FOIL, which is a little bit harder, but it's also pretty easy in terms of operations on polynomials. So FOIL stands for first, outside, inside, last. So the first step of using FOIL into simplifying this equation right here, which is x plus 2 multiplied by x minus 2, we're just going to multiply the first variable. So we're going to multiply x by x, and we're going to write that down. So we have x times x is just x squared. Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to multiply the two outside terms. So we're going to multiply x, which is the outside term on the left, and 2, which is the outside term on the right. But be careful, because we're actually multiplying x by negative 2. You can't forget that negative sign in front of there. So x multiplied by negative 2 is simply negative 2x. Now the next step is to multiply the two inside terms. And the two inside terms are 2 and x. So positive 2 times x is just plus 2x. And then we're just going to multiply the two last numbers, which is 2 and negative 2. And remember, 2 times negative 2 is actually negative 4. And then we can't forget to fully simplify this, so we got to do x squared minus 4, because these two terms right here, negative 2x and positive 2x, they cancel each other out. Alright, the last example I want to do in this video kind of just shows you the importance of the negative sign when you're simplifying polynomial terms. So what you're going to want to do to solve this is basically just write out all of the different terms as it stands with no brackets. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to do 5x cubed minus 13x squared minus 7. And now a common mistake would be to just subtract 16x cubed, subtract 8x squared, subtract x, and then subtract 15. But this is actually incorrect. And that's because we have to use the distributive property from before and distribute this negative sign into every term inside of the brackets, all right? So basically what we're going to do is we're going to multiply all of these terms by -1 due to that negative sign. So as a result, we're going to get minus 16x cubed minus 8x cubed plus x and minus 15. So just remember, whenever you have a negative sign in front of some brackets and a polynomial expression, that you just distribute that negative sign into the brackets, all right? And then you won't have any problems. So we'll go ahead and simplify this. We have, first of all, we're just going to combine like terms, so it's pretty easy. We just need to subtract 16x cubed from 5x cubed. Since they're like terms, they both have an x cubed. So 5 minus 16 is going to give us negative 11x cubed. Then we have negative 13x squared and negative 8x squared. So we get negative 21x squared. And then we have plus x, since we don't have any other x terms, we just have that one. And then we also have negative 7 and negative 15. So negative 7 minus 15 is going to be equal to negative 22. And that is our final answer. So I hope this video was helpful, just kind of introducing you onto operations on polynomials, just multiplying and adding and using the distributive property and FOIL. But just let me know if you have any questions as always, and I'll catch you in the next one.